Buck 5, that band guy. Elizabeth City State University, Winston-Salem State University, and Clark Atlanta University had a three-way battle in the gym. I would love to react to this, and I want to see what they've got. And we always know Winston-Salem State University has a nice, complete, whole, little dark sound to them. Elizabeth City State University probably has spunked it up a little bit more. And then Clark Atlanta University, I hadn't heard at all. Looking forward to this battle to see who actually brings it, to see who works collectively as a dope ensemble, a dope band. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to move out the way, and I'm going to let Elizabeth City State University, Clark Atlanta University, and Winston-Salem State University play. Elizabeth City. They kind of sounded a little basic coming in. It wasn't a whole lot of chord structure. Not bad, but basic. High energy though, pretty good. They playing for the instrumentation. You gotta give it to them. They playing based on the instrumentation. I get it. Some more Elizabeth City? Come on now, I thought it was 4 bands here. Supposed to be 4 bands here, hopefully. Yeah, well, 3 bands. I can boost. I like the blend though. Okay. Not a bad sound holistically. You know, collectively they did the thing. Of course, it was just some regular little syncopated chord and notes and stuff. You know, kind of basic. But this still sounded good to blend. Come on, bring out the melody. Nice key change. Interesting ending. Definitely interesting ending. But okay. Clark Atlanta. Mm-mm. they sound awfully timid. Don't like the sound. Don't like the blend. Don't like just how they had the low brass hanging out. Few little trumpet spots here and there. Sousaphone not playing out. Average. Real basic. No tonguing. They're struggling on the separation, and a little more. It's a little too advanced for them on where they are now. You can tell. But you gotta try it in order to know. Lot to be desired on that. A whole lot to be desired. I was missing the whole middle. Didn't hear any melody on that at all. Missing the whole middle. Articulation was atrocious. The interpretation, I didn't know. Didn't somebody come in early? That wasn't the best either. I feel like it was really elementary and overplayed, and with no harmonies or nothing in it. Clark Atlanta, y'all got a lot to be desired. That's more in y'all wheelhouse. Play stuff like this, because it plays to the strengths of what you all have as a band. Come on, Winston-Salem. Da-da-da-da. No, I hear it. Yeah, the ostinato looping of those songs, they actually sound more contained. They definitely did. They sound more contained. Some tuning. Come on, Mellows. It should be both of y'all playing. And the dissonance is off. I need some tired lifts in there because the tones are flat. and they're just not together. The dissonance is way off. But then again, they're trying to play for the consistency of what their band is. I hate a little movement on the mellows, trying to play it in the middle. Not bad. They definitely sound more whole. Nice.
Everything at Roger starts and ends on Slack. I love huddles because the communication pipe.
Good solid sound. That's a little line dance song, huh? There's some weak little playing in there, and that formation is weird too. They should have put the trumpets up front so you can at least hear what they're doing instead of just the brass and then the mellows on that side. It's a different little setup. And plus, they don't sound polished or like they practiced a lot. So. It's high energy. So they are perfectly in tune with the same type of volume and don't overdo it. Y'all sound good. The balance is good. And the timbre sounds good too. Come on. You ain't gotta overdo it. Sit in it. Good strong trumpet. Okay. Good separation. Mm-hmm. This sounds like a song they know pretty well. They're doing the articulation well on this and the volume. That sounded tons better than what they've been playing. They're way more together on that. Love the groove. Oh, come on, trumpets. A little sluggish. I like that tune. I love the whole blend of the notes and the sound. Of course, everything's in staff. So, guys, you all shouldn't have had problem executing that. Wasn't difficult. You just sit in it. Comic books only, but I did like Elizabeth City's better. Uh, mm-hmm. Let's slow the way down. basic, but not bad. But they slowed it way down so they can get it, which I get. Come on, don't botch this up. A little Quince player over there playing. Oh, I like the snap.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
Ostinato, just a loop. Nice. They came to play. Come on, Mellows. Come on, Mellows. Get in there. I like it. It's two of them, but they shining through. Doing their part. Happy day. I heard a couple parts that weren't articulated well, but overall it sounded good. And I love the volume that they had. A lot better. Winston-Salem State University, Clark Atlanta University, Elizabeth City State University. I know I tell you who was the weakest out of the three. You tell me. You got your guess? Clark Atlanta University. Absolutely. They were the weakest. But they had a couple of tunes to where they sounded together and you could tell they were really confident in those and probably had rehearsed those and understood what those tunes were supposed to sound like. But some of those other tunes seemed like they just kind of muddled through them and just got them over with. Winston-Salem State University had it together. They sounded good. The continuity was there. The dissonance, they didn't have the dissonance issues. They were actually playing together in volume. The blend was good. They just sounded more whole. Elizabeth City State, I give them second place under Winston-Salem University because they had some tunes where they sounded decent. They had one tune where they just totally, the articulation was off all the way. You couldn't tell the melody or any of that in one of their tunes. So I don't know if that was a tune they didn't have long or they were trying to practice over it. They didn't go back to their rooms and practice or the sectionals or didn't go well. I don't know what that was, but they had that one tune where it was just horrid. Overall, they played okay, but Winston-Salem State University got to give it to you all on sounding much more whole and put together overall. And definitely got to give last place to Clark Atlanta University. I don't know if they're rebuilding their program or what, but they sounded like amateurs, like high schoolers, to be honest with you. But the last couple of songs weren't as bad. So that's my reaction. That's my critique. I've been Buck 5, that band guy, and my perspective is unique. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it.